Good afternoon and welcome to Rodney Parade in Newport Engage Super League Round 25 as the Leeds Rhinos travel to take on the Celtic Crusaders. Change of venue for the Crusaders today. It's been moved down the road to Newport. Didn't spot Leeds arriving only half an hour before kick-off. It's taken them 2 hours 30 minutes to get here from their Bristol base. That's because U2 are on up the road 10 miles at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. Leeds will get us underway. It's a very loud PA system as well, and they'll kick from right to left on the chain strip of predominantly white with the blue and amber trim. Celtic in their traditional home colours of black and gold as Sinfield gets us underway. Kick-off is going to be fielded in the in goal, and it's Ben Flower who will bring it back, and he's met by Lawatiti and Jamie Peacock. Budworth at dummy half. That is Ben Flower. Could have been Chris Beasley with the opening run back. And the ball's been lost and Leeds have turned it over 18 metres away from the Celtic line. And it's a great start. Ali Lawatiti in there causing mayhem. And the players are just going to have to remember where this scrum's going to be taken from. Not a bad crowd down here in the Brewery Field. Plenty of blue and amber knocking about as Burrow feeds the scrum. Sinfield from the base finds Maguire, goes crossfield. Here's Webb trying to get on the outside of Elliot Keir, the debutant, but good work from the youngster. Here's Maguire, finds Jamie Jones, and he goes to ground 12 away from the line. Diskin at dummy half finds Sinfield to Burrow gets it to Senior, and Senior's put that down. It's recovered by Jason Chan, and there is, well, not really an advantage, but enough for Thierry Alibert, the referee, to play a zero tackle as Mark Bryant takes it in for the Crusaders. Budworth gets to dummy half again, change of direction, and a big hit from Kylie Luluai. Budworth at dummy half gets it to Jordan James, formerly with Wigan at one time and Widnes as well. Had more clubs than Nick Faldo, I think, as well. He's been at Swinton, if I remember correctly, as Celtic get to just short of halfway. Budworth at dummy half looks for Smith. They're going to kick early in the tackle count. He's outside the 40. Brent Webb is going to watch that. It's going to go over the sideline, and we'll come back for a scrum 10 metres away from the Rhinos line. It's a very old world stadium, this one, down here at Rodney Parade. There's a little bit of the Memorial Ground in Bristol with the little tent behind the goal. There's a little bit of Wakefield at the other end with the porter cabins. Russ seems to think it's a bit like Widnes, the old ground at Widnes, where they've just got some money and built a little bit, and got some more money and then built a little bit. As Thierry Alibert not happy with what's gone on in the scrum. Well held, Thierry. Caught the pass back from Kevin Sinfield. Burrow this time feeds the scrum. Sinfield finds Senior, and that's not a bad tackle from Chris Beasley on Keith Senior. Diskin at dummy half goes on his own. Good little scoop from Matt Diskin, enjoying life in the absence of Danny Badiris. Here's Peacock. Diskin again at dummy half finds Maguire. Here's Sinfield gets it to Smith. Lee Smith puts the burners on. Lee Smith in the clearance. Webb on the inside. Elliot Keir, what a tackle from the debutant. Good quick play of the ball though. Donald finds Maguire. Here's Sinfield on the charge. He's 3 goals away from 1,000 tonight as well in Leeds colours. Jamie Jones finds Burrow with the kick across field. It's going to be a jump ball. Hall's got it. Ryan Hall's got it away to Senior, and this is going to be the first try of the night. 4 minutes on the clock, and Keith Senior puts the Rhinos on the board. Crossfield kick from Rob Burrow, well taken by Ryan Hall. Hall gets out of the challenge of Anthony Blackwood, flips it over the shoulder to Senior, and Senior has an easy job of walking in at the corner for the try. Here's Sinfield with the conversion attempt, 3 away from the 1,000 mark in Leeds colours. Here's the kick on its way. He's certainly given it enough. It's drifted across the face of the post. 5 minutes on the clock here at Rodney Parade in Newport. It's Celtic Crusaders 0, Leeds Rhinos 4. And welcome back to Rodney Paredes. Matt Smith gets us back underway. Kickoff is deep. Maguire will feed. Here comes Peacock on the charge. Gets back to the 20-metre line. Diskin at dummy half. Looks both ways. And here's Lulawai on the charge. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Finds Jamie Jones Buchanan. Diskin at dummy half. Gets it to Lauatiti. Lauatiti puts the step on, and it's taken 1, 2, 3, 4 Crusaders players to bring him to ground as Diskin gets it to Burrow. Burrow just drops it over the top. Here's one for Elliot Keir to chase. He's got Ryan Hall on top of him, and he brings him to ground. 5 away from the line. Quick play of the ball. Blackwood goes from dummy half. Good work from Anthony Blackwood. Gets beyond the 20. Here's Jason Chan. He'll go on his own as well, and it's safety first for the Crusaders. Budworth gets it to Mark Bryan. Budworth gets it to Smith. That's Ben Flower. Budworth at dummy half for Smith, this time in front of the 40. Diskin with the pressure. It's going to bounce, and Webb will field. 10 away from the line. Tips it up to Donald, and Donald sets off upfield, but it's a good chase from Chris Beasley. Webb at dummy half goes on his own. Brought to ground by Ryan O'Hara. Only one marker as Maguire finds Lee Smith. Diskin at dummy half doesn't just quite get away from Lloyd White as Maguire finds Sinfield. Sinfield pops it up for Jamie Jones Buchanan. It's last tackle for the Rhinos. 5 inside the Celtic half. Here's Maguire, just drops it over the top. Big in goals here at Newport, and it lands on the goal line. Here's Steve Tyra on loan from St Helens at the moment. Gets 8 away from the line. Elliot Keir, the debutant, goes from dummy half, just stops and surrenders into the tackle from Peacock and Jamie Jones. He's knocked that on as Elliot Keir, and after a promising start, the youngster has come up with the mistake, and Leeds will get a shot at the Celtic line from 15 metres away as the Celtic fans give Thierry Alibert the bird. As Rob Burrow will feed this scrum. 15 away from the line. Sinfield from the base goes blind. Here is Donald. Donald up against Tyra. He's brought to ground alongside with Lloyd White as Sinfield finds Peacock. Peacock gets Leeds to within 4 of the Celtic line. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Burrow. Burrow coming crossfield to Maguire. Maguire across the face of the defence. Here's Ryan Hall. Here's the second try of the night. 9 minutes on the clock, and after 5 last week, it's taken Ryan Hall only 9 minutes to get on the board this week. Burrow finds Maguire, and Maguire just flings the ball, misses 2 players out right across the face of the Celtic defence. Anthony Blackwood's been sucked in, and Ryan Hall is in at the corner. So Kevin Sinfield still 3 away from the 1,000 goal mark for Leeds. Here he is, similar kick to the first one. And this one has had a similar result. This one's fallen short. 10 minutes on the clock here at Rodney Parade. It's Leeds Rhinos 8, Celtic Crusaders 0. And welcome back as Steve Tyra gets us underway. This is going to be fielded by Ryan Hall on the 10, and he will take it back for the Rhinos. Webb gets into dummy half. Here's Peacock. Webb gets to dummy half. Comes the short side to Lauatiti. Lauatiti puts the step on, but eventually put to ground by Jason Chan. Webb at dummy half finds Peacock. Here's Burrow. Burrow with a couple of steps, just can't get away from Chris Beasley. Diskin finds Sinfield. Sinfield puts the kick downfield. He's got it over the head of Elliot Keir, and Keir will feel 5 away from the line. Look at this chase from the Rhinos. 1, 2, 3, 6 of them there, and it's Jamie Jones leading the way. And not many of the Celtic players are back yet, as Jason Tiam gets that pass from Marshall Chalk. He's got it away to Budworth. Budworth gets it to O'Hara. A lot's been made of the 6 players from Celtic who have, there's a knock on there. Celtic, of course, have had 6 players deported this week. Only 2 of them, though, featured in the starting lineup last week. So Brian McLennan's quite rightly said it's not about the 6, it's about the 2 that are missing, and it's forced John Dixon into 2 debutants, Elliot Keir, who's on the bench, and Gil Dudson, who will come off interchange a little later on. He's wearing 29 as Burrow feeds the scrum. Sinfield from the base finds Maguire. Maguire decides to take on the Celtic defence, and he's wrapped up by Jordan James. 25 away from the line, centre field. Webb goes to the right. Here's Jamie Jones Buchanan. Gets Leeds inside the Celtic red zone. Diskin at dummy half. Pops it back to Burrow. Burrow tries to go underneath, but Jordan James there to wrap him up again alongside Chris Beasley. Diskin goes to the near side. Here's the pass from Jamie Jones Buchanan, and he collects his own pass. It missed the intended recipient, that was Danny Maguire. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Finds Peacock. Peacock charges in, turns. Could have offloaded, just didn't have the support. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Finds Burrow, just drops it along the floor. Blackwood's missed it, and Blackwood's made it safe. And he's going to concede a goal line dropout. That could have been calamitous for the Crusaders winger Anthony Blackwood. It came off the knees and he just about managed to make it dead, but it's the concession of a goal line dropout. And Celtic haven't had a lot of ball so far. They've done a lot of defending, and that was the problem with Castleford last week. They didn't touch the ball in the last 20 minutes. Michael Shenton knocked on for that Ryan Hall try, and that was it. As Smith gets us back underway. Danny Maguire off the legs. We'll just tip it up for Peacock, and Leeds will start 35 away from the Celtic line. Diskin at dummy half. Pops it up to Luluai. Diskin again goes on his own. Pops it back to Burrow. Burrow tries to find a way through, but Ryan O'Hara there to bring him to ground. Diskin at dummy half. Options either way. They come the near side with Maguire out for Senior. Senior for the corner. He's just held short by Anthony Blackwood, and that's a penalty. Senior wanted a quick play of the ball, and Anthony Blackwood just had a second bite at Keith Senior, and Leeds are getting on with it. Webb finds Burrow. Here's Sinfield back on the inside to Peacock. 8 away from the line. Diskin at dummy half. Goes the near side to Jamie Jones. Sinfield to Maguire. Maguire to Donald. Donald with a step. Donald for the corner. And Scott Donald will score for the Rhinos. Third try of the afternoon. 14 minutes on the clock. Leeds just go to the short side. Little run around involving Jamie Jones and Kevin Sinfield. Gets it to Maguire. And then Maguire stands Steve Siler up on that near side and gets through the tackle of Keir to get in at the corner. Sinfield with the conversion attempt. Kicks on its way. And the flags are up here at Rodney Parade. 15 minutes on the clock. It's Celtic Crusaders 0, Leeds Rhinos 14, and goal 998 for Kevin Sinfield in Leeds colours. As Steve Tyra gets us underway. Celtic have made a change. We'll bring you that one shortly. It bounces in between the posts, and Jamie Peacock will bring it back for the Rhinos. It's Gil Dudson who's come on for a debut for the Crusaders as Diskin finds Luluai. Diskin at dummy half. Gets it to Lauatiti. Lauatiti almost finds a way through the Celtic defence. Diskin at dummy half finds Jamie Jones. Disking again at dummy half. Finds Burrow. Burrow with a step. Oh, that looked a little high from Mark Bryant. Grabbed him by the collar though, so Thierry Alibert waves playing as Sinfield. Puts it downfield. Fielded by Tyra. And Tyra met by Sinfield, Peacock and Jamie Jones Buchanan. Here's Elliot Keir from dummy half. Good run from the youngster. Gets 7-8 metres upfield. Here's Budworth. Gets it to the debutant, Gil Dudson. Welcome to Super League. Here's Budworth at dummy half. Finds Bryant. Budworth at dummy half. Goes on his own. Gets Celtic to the 40. Smith at dummy half. Will kick. Looking for the sideline, but it's straight down the throat of Ryan Hall, and Hall will get 15 away from the line. Webb from dummy half goes on his own, goes crossfield, gets it away to Donald. Donald trying to get on the outside of Marshall, Chalk and Tyra, but can't. As Leeds make a change. Smith goes from dummy half. It's Luke Burgess who's come on, and Thierry Alibert's given a penalty to the Rhinos. There's no signal. I would presume it's for offside. And Kevin Sinfield will put it into touch. Maguire gets us back underway. Diskin finds Burgess. Takes the Rhinos over halfway. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Lauatiti. Diskin again at dummy half. Gets it to Sinfield. Sinfield pops it up to Burrow. Just had to stop to take the pass and floats it out to Smith, and Smith's put it to ground. And Steve Tyra will recover for the Crusaders, and Leeds turn it over. 15 inside the Crusaders half. Here's Lloyd White. Crowd screaming for a penalty. Here's Dudson. Gets the Crusaders to halfway. Doesn't want to go to ground, does the young man? Doesn't. Budworth at dummy half. Finds Smith. Smith gets it away to Mark Bryant. Budworth at dummy half. Finds Smith. Here's Jason Chan. He's put to ground on the 40. Budworth at dummy half. Finds Smith. Smith looking for the sideline. Finds it. And will come back for a scrum. Certainly has been a long drive down this morning. We'd just like to thank everybody at the Celtic Club who's helped us out down here at Rodney Parade today. As Rob Burrow feeds the scrum. Sinfield finds Senior. Here's Maguire finds Webb. Gets it to Smith, and Smith lifted up by Elliot Keir and dumped into the ground, and Brent Webb just give the youngster a little push, and Luke Burgess has dropped it, and that's going to be a knock-on, and Leeds have turned it over 25 away from their own line. Smith will feed the scrum. Finds Jason Chan. Here's David Tangata-Tor, who's just come on for the Crusaders. Budworth at dummy half. Gets it away to Smith. Smith finds Lloyd White. go to the short side. Kick comes in, that's bounced all over the place. It's come backwards and Danny Maguire's got it and it's play on. Didn't quite see what happened there. Here's Webb at dummy half. Finds Sinfield. Diskin gets it to Peacock. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Burrow. Leeds looking to go from deep as Lawatiti finds Senior, but it's good defence from Jason Chan. Here's Lawatiti. Burrow at dummy half. Goes on his own. Rob Burrow with a step. Rob Burrow's in the clear. 3-on-1. Which way does he go? He goes this side to Webb. And Leeds are going to score despite the valiant efforts of Elliot Clear. 23 minutes on the clock. And it's Brent Webb who crosses for the try for the Rhinos. All comes from the magic feet of Rob Burrow. Picks the big man out, dances round him, puts the burners on. It's the debutant Dudson who's been left stood for dead. Maguire one side, Webb the other side. Burrow gives it to Webb and Webb outpaces Elliot Keir to get over for the try. And here is Kevin Sinfield for goal 999 of his Leeds career. Kicks on its way and he's pushed that across the face of the post. 1 from 4 so far for Kevin Sinfield. Takes the score to Celtic Crusaders 0, Leeds Rhinos 18. And welcome back as Steve Tyra gets us underway. Kickoff's deep, too deep, and that's gone out on the full. And you're 18-0 down, and that's the last thing you need to be doing. Granted, it's not a regular home venue for the Celtic Crusaders, but it's criminal. I'm sorry, shouldn't be doing things like that. He's going to gift Kevin Sinfield a kick into touch here, and they're probably going to be back defending on their own 10-metre line after just conceding a try. Sinfield with the kick, here it comes, and well, Leeds will start just short of the 20, and Celtic are back on in trouble again as Maguire goes the short side to Smith. Smith eventually put to ground, 6 away from the line. Maguire at dummy half finds Sinfield, gets it to Burgess. Burgess on the rampage. Tipped up, 5 away from the line. Here's Diskin, finds Burrow. Burrow gets it to Webb. Webb up against Smith, pushes Smith off. Keith Senior for the corner, and Keith Senior's got in. 2 tries in a minute for the Rhinos as Keith Senior picks up his second try of the game. Diskin to Burrow. Burrow to Webb. Webb gets the offload away in contact. Keith Senior has Matt Smith in front of him, just give big fend. Go away. In and out, and in at the corner for the try. Here's Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt. He's not had much luck from this side of the pitch this afternoon, and this one's a bit better. And the flags are up. Goal 999 of Kevin Sinfield's Leeds career takes the score here with 25 minutes on the clock to the Celtic Crusaders 0, Leeds Rhinos 24. As Steve Tyra gets us back underway again. This one's managed to stay in the field of play, and Ryan Hall gets it to Luke Burgess, and Burgess has made a break. Luke Burgess makes the bus, gets it away to Ryan Hall. Hall gets it to Maguire. Lovely pass from Ryan Hall out with the back of the hand, and Celtic are in trouble again, defending deep inside their own half. Diskin at dummy half finds Sinfield. Here's Jamie Jones, put to ground, 35 away from the line. Here's Peacock. Peacock on the charge. gets Leeds 22 away from the line, centre field. Options either side again. They'll come the near side and Burrow. Burrow gets it to Simon Worrell, who's just come on for Ali Lawatiti. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Diskin gets it to Peacock, massive gap. Jamie Peacock for the line has scored, and it's all too easy for the Rhinos at the moment. That's 3 sets in a row. Jamie Peacock gets over for the try. Diskin from dummy half, next to the side of the post, and this should be easy for Kevin Sinfield's 1000th goal in Leeds colours. Here is Kevin Sinfield for a historic moment for him personally. Kicks on its way, and that's 1,000 goals for Leeds for Kevin Sinfield. Becomes only the second player in the club's history to do it after Lewis Jones. Takes the latest score here at Rodney Parade to Leeds Rhinos 30, Celtic Crusaders 0. How appropriate that Kevin Sinfield breaks this record in the same countries where the great Lewis Jones was from. Only 2 people now have kicked over 1,000 goals for Leeds, and it's a great honour for Kevin to achieve, I'm sure, as Brent Webb finds Luke Burgess. Diskin at dummy half finds Peacock. Leeds are looking to make another change. Willie Porchin is on the charge. Here's Diskin at dummy half finds Sinfield. Sinfield looked to offload but decided to stick, holding the challenge of Tanga Totoa. Diskin at dummy half. Here's Ryan Bailey for his first appearances. Jamie Jones almost breaks through. Jamie Peacock's the one who's gone to the bench. Here's Diskin. Maguire at dummy half will kick on the last tackle. Found the deck, and Elliot Keir fields 8 away from the line. Look at the chase, he's put the pass in to Blackwood. A little bit dangerous start when you've not had the ball for nearly 8.5 minutes, as Celtic look to bring it away with Mark Bryant. Budworth at dummy half gets it to Jason Chan. He's run all over the top of Rob Burrow there, but Simon Worrell and Ryan Hall there to wrap him up. That's Ryan O'Hara. Budworth at dummy half finds Smith. Here's Tanga Totoa, formerly with Hull Kingston Rovers. Budworth at dummy half finds Smith. Smith puts the kick in again, looking for the sideline, but it's straight down the throat of Ryan Hall. Burrow at dummy half finds Senior. Diskin at dummy half. Here is Ryan Bailey, his first touch in the first team back after the injury, and sporting the long sleeve shirt. It's not that cold this afternoon down here as Diskin goes from dummy half, pushes the first tackle off, and Brent Webb's knocked on, and Leeds will turn in over 15 inside the Celtic half. Of course, Leeds are top of Super League now, if it stays this way, after St Helens' narrow 12-10 victory last night over the Huddersfield Giants. It left the points difference at plus 15, and I think Leeds will be heading to the summit tonight as White gets it away to Marshall Chalk, and here's a penalty for the Crusaders, much to the delight of the locals. Danny Maguire's been ruled offside, and Matt Smith gets on with it, and Celtic will start 25 away from the Leeds line. Here's Budworth, gets it away to Beasley. Budworth at dummy half finds O'Hara, and O'Hara goes to ground. 10 away from the Leeds line. Budworth at dummy half finds White, and White's dropped that, but it's gone backwards. That should be play on from Mr. Ali Berenice, and it's a waste of a tackle really for the Crusaders as Budworth finds Smith. Smith gets it to Bryant. Bryant looking for the runner, just didn't have it. Elliot Keir could have been the man who was meant to be coming into the line as Chan at dummy half goes on his own. Jason Chan for the line. He's going to be held up just short. Budworth at dummy half. On the bounce for Kia. Kia flips it out the back door, and that's been dropped by Chris Beasley. And what's he ruled? He's actually ruled offside here. He's ruled Beasley's dropped it and Kia's picked it up from an offside position, and instead of a scrum we'll have a Leeds penalty. As Kevin Sinfield puts it into touch. Leeds start on the 40s. Bailey takes it in. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Goes on his own. Gets it to Jamie Jones Buchanan. Looks to put the burners on. Gets it away to Maguire. Here's Maguire up against Kia. And Kia's done really well there to bring him to ground. But Leeds are 15 away from the line. Donald at dummy half finds Sinfield back to Ryan Bailey. He's not scored a try in over 2 years. Here's Sinfield at dummy half. Finds Maguire. Gets it to Smith. Smith cuts infield, straightens up. And he's taken up top by Ryan O'Hara. And he's going to be held up literally just short of the line. Diskin drops it onto the foot. And Matt Smith does really well there for Celtic Crusaders. Almost run through Mark Bryant, but gets out to the 10 metre line. There's Budworth at dummy half. Gets it away to Ben Flower. Blackwood in off the wing. Fair play to these Crusaders fans. They're being very vocal and getting behind their side at the moment, despite the fact they're on the wrong end of the scoreboard. Smith with the kick downfield. It's taken by Webb. Webb looks up, looks to get on the outside but can't. Here's Ryan Hall, gets it to Senior, back to Hall with the run around. It's coming back into the game, the run around, you know. Seeing it quite a lot at the moment. As Diskin at dummy half finds Sinfield. Sinfield back to Burrow. Burrow gets it to Maguire. Maguire's pass on the bounce to Donald. Here's Scott Donald going down the wing. Donald just ankle tapped by White. Comes back in field into the arms of Chris Beasley, but leads again inside the Celtic red zone. Smith at dummy half finds Maguire. Here's Jamie Jones onto Big Kylie. Gets 10 away from the line. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow going for the chip over. Here's Webb. Webb collects and scores. Classic Leeds counter-attack. 2 minutes before half-time. Rob Burrow just looks up. Brent Webb puts the burners on. Was he offside? We can't tell that. And he touches down for the try. Here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt. Kicks on its way. Always pushed that across the face of the post. He's had a bit of an off day with the boot so far. 3 from 7 at the moment as we come up to half time. It's Celtic Crusaders 0, Leeds Rhinos 34. As Steve Tyra gets us back underway, Ryan Hall collects. Ryan Hall decides to have a go on his own. Diskin at dummy half finds Simon Worrell. Diskin again at dummy half, gets it to Luluai. Here's Bailey. Diskin at dummy half. Burrow on for Sinfield. Sinfield's pass has been dropped and missed by everybody, and it's found the sideline. And we'll pack a scrum down. and the Celtic play is just a little slow. And they've got 7 in the pack, that's why. Jason Chan being told to get out, and here he is to take it in for the Crusaders. Budworth at dummy half finds Mark Bryant. Here's Budworth for Tanga Tatoa. Budworth goes crossfield, gets it to Smith. Smith to White. White to Keir. Keir to Marshall Chalk, and Marshall Chalk attempts the kick. And there goes the hooter, and that's it. Half time here at Rodney Parade. 2 tries for Keith Senior. The highlight, Kevin Sinfield's 1000th goal. And welcome back to the second half here at Rodney Parade. Steve Tyra gets us underway. Keith Senior and Matt Diskin just having a little bit of a confusion over who was catching that, and Senior will go to ground 10 away from the line as Maguire finds Luluai. Diskin at dummy half finds Ryan Bailey. Wonder if Ryan's going to get over the line today. It's over 2 years since he scored a try for the Leeds now. That was against Wakefield up at Headingley Carnegie back in July 2007 it was, as Simon Worrell takes it in. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Last tackle kick downfield is going to be taken by Elliot Keir. He's impressed me so far, the young man. And the fullback role for the Celtic Crusaders on debut tonight as Tyra at dummy half gets it away to White. Budworth at dummy half finds Bryant. Bryant's just offloaded it to nobody. Simon Worrell almost got there, but it's been recovered. Here's Tanga Tatoa. Budworth at dummy half finds Smith. Smith drops it off. It's Mills. Plays it to Budworth. Smith on the last tackle, puts the kick in. Looking for the 40-20, but again it's straight down the throat of Ryan Hall. Hall finds Webb. Opens up almost for Webb. He's got away from a couple. Here's Brent Webb. Gets over halfway and eventually puts it around 10 metres inside. Quick play of the ball. Wanted, doesn't get it. And that will be a penalty in favour of the Rhinos, and we've not long gone in this second half. Already a menacing intent coming from the Rhinos. Of course, the more points they score now, the further ahead they get at St Helens, and of course the two sides clash in the next round at Headingley Carnegie. We've got the weekend off next weekend, as it's the Challenge Cup final, and good luck to Tony and the Wolves, and of course good luck to the Giants as well, as Danny Maguire knocks on, and he's gone down. Danny Maguire, he looks to have copped a stray one there from Ben Flower, and there is some concern. Thierry Alibert's called time off. Kevin Sinfield's there, and here comes Marion Jones, the physio, to have a look. We'll have to stop, because if we carried on, the scrum would take place on top of Danny Maguire, where he is on the ground at the moment, and worrying times for the Rhinos. And we'll just take this opportunity to welcome all our out-of-town viewers who take these DVDs every week. It's a pleasure to have you along with us as usual. I would think our friends from Cornwall may have made the trip up to Rodney Parade for this game. It's the closest game that they'll get to all season. And Thierry Alibert just telling Marion Jones to get Danny Maguire out the back, and let's crack on with the game. If Danny Maguire does have to go off, it would possibly put Kevin Sinfield to stand off, and we'll take things from there. And we're just awaiting a signal, and the signal's come for the change, and Leeds are going to have to take Danny Maguire off, and they'll have to defend this set with 12 men at the moment. as Smith from the base of the scrum gets it to Elliot Keir. Budworth at dummy half goes on his own. Good run from Neil Budworth. That looked a little high from Kylie Lulawai across the chops. As Bryant plays the ball. Here's Budworth at dummy half. Finds Smith. Smith changes direction, goes up a blind alley before he's put to ground. And on the last tackle, kick comes in from White. It's not a bad kick, it's found the ground, and Brent Webb takes one bounce, immediately looks to counter though. Burrow at dummy half. Finds Ryan Hall. Here's Diskin at dummy half, gets it to Bailey off for Sinfield. Sinfield's pass bounces in front of Jamie Jones Buchanan, who flips it up for Kylie Lulawai. Here's Diskin at dummy half, finds Jamie Jones. Jamie Jones looks to offload but decides to stick hold in heavy traffic. Marker's not set. That's a cue for Diskin to go. Here goes Matt Diskin. And Diskin trying to get away, gets it to Sinfield. Sinfield to Burrow. Burrow, long ball for Senior. Senior to Ryan Hall. Hall's going to check. Cut back in field. And eventually Matt Smith and Mark Bryant there to bring him to ground. Lawatiti at dummy half. Finds Burrow. Here's Sinfield. Sinfield puts the kick across field. And that's been well taken by Tyra. Tyra gets a chance to counter for the Crusaders, but he's got Jamie Jones Buchanan there with him. Here's Elliot Keir. Gives it away to O'Hara. Back to Tyra. Tyra wants nothing of it. Here's Lloyd White for the Crusaders. Put to ground. Centre field. Budworth at dummy half. Finds Smith. Smith gets it to Bryant. Here's Jason Chan. Chan's got on the outside. And Ryan Hall and Rob Burrow. Great tackle, but that's gone back to Brent Webb. And Webb is now put to ground. And that's going to be a penalty. Mark Bryant having two dips at Brent Webb. Oh, and a bit of afters. And Thierry Halibert telling Mark Bryant to go away, and Brent Webb's laughing at him and just trying to defuse the situation by cracking a couple of jokes. Thierry Halibert's just going to have a cheeky word with Brent Webb, telling him just to not to inflame the situation by pointing and waving at Mark Bryant as Kevin Sinfield takes Leeds into Celtic territory. Sinfield finds Diskin. Here's Lulawai. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Diskin at dummy half gets it to Sinfield. Here's Lawatiti. Lawatiti pops it up to Senior, and Ryan Hall's dropped that, and we'll come back for a knock on. Super pass though from Ali Lawatiti. That's what he's more than capable of. And we'll pack this scrum down on the 20. As Celtic go from the base of the scrum with Chris Beasley. Anthony Blackwood waits and goes from dummy half. Budworth gets there now. And Celtic get 5 short of halfway. Budworth at dummy half. Smith. Lloyd White had nowhere to go. He was immediately pounced on by Jamie Jones Buchanan. Here's Jordan James. Budworth at dummy half finds Smith. Smith tries a little chip over the top, but Lawatiti there to cover. and a little bit of invention from the Welshman. Oh, it rhymes. As Ryan Hall takes it in for the Rhinos. Webb at dummy half. Finds Scott Donald, who's come in looking for a bit of work. Here's Webb at dummy half. Goes on his own, just runs straight into Jordan James. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Finds Jamie Jones. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Sinfield. Sinfield goes high, looking to test Elliot Kieran. He's safe under the high ball as the young man, and runs at Lee Smith and gets back to the 20 again. Good work from the youngster in the custodian role for the Crusaders as Marshall Chalk goes from dummy half. Here's Budworth back in there. That's O'Hara. Budworth at dummy half. Ball, good offload that. Here's Beasley. Budworth gets it to Jordan James. Here's Matt Smith. Jason Chan again up against Rob Burrow. Just swats Rob Burrow off, but only finds Ryan Bailey back on the inside. Jordan James not happy with the tackle. Thierry Alibert plays on, and Matt Smith just drills that over the sideline, and that's the sign of a tired team already, and we're not even at 3/4 time. And we'll pack the scrum down. 25 away from the Leeds line. And if your Celtic team aren't tired enough, there's Jamie Peacock on sideline waiting to come back on. As Rob Burrow will feed the scrum. Jamie Jones from the base finds Lee Smith, and Smith almost gets through. Here's Sinfield at dummy half, finds Jamie Jones Buchanan on for Simon Worrell. Simon Worrell put to ground by Lloyd White. Diskin at dummy half finds Ryan Bailey. I think it could be him who will make way for Jamie Peacock. Diskin at dummy half finds Webb. Webb gets it to Jones Buchanan again. Tempted offload, has come off a Celtic player and back to Diskin. Sinfield goes crossfield, gets it to Lauatiti. Lauatiti, couple of steps back in field, got the ball in one hand, gets it away to Diskin. Diskin goes back. Here is Jamie Peacock for the Rhinos. Quick play of the ball. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow to Senior. Senior just brought to ground by Jason Chan. Diskin at dummy half, the 5 away from the line. Burrow drops it onto the foot, and that's gone into touch, and we'll come back for a scrum. But Leeds just beginning to go through the gears again very slowly. Jamie Peacock back on now will give them more go forward, and these Celtic boys are in no rush to get this scrum formed, and I can't blame them. As Smith feeds the scrum from the base, gets it to Elliot Keir, and Elliot Keir's going backwards. Here's Elliot Keir going backwards. Keir's lost it, and Simon Worrell's touchdown, and Leeds have scored, and Thierry's going to have a word with the in-goal judge. Right, he's having a word with the in-goal judge. In-goal judge is convinced. He's given no try, and he's given a 20-metre restart. What has he ruled there? It just seemed for me that Elliot Keir was just going backwards, backwards and backwards. He's dropped the ball, and Simon Worrell's pounced on it and scored. Baffling. Oh well, on with it. As Celtic bring it away from this 20-metre restart. Budworth at dummy half, gets it to Jordan James. James changes direction and just finds Luluayan Sinfield. Here's Budworth from dummy half, finds it to White, and White put to ground on the Leeds 40. Budworth at dummy half, gets it to Smith. Smith to Beasley. Jason Chan gets it to Anthony Blackwood. Chan at dummy half finds Smith. Smith drives it across field, and that's going to be fielded by Scott Donald on the goal line. And Donald gets to centre field, 10 away from the Rhinos post. Hall at dummy half goes on his own. Just safety first from the Rhinos at the moment. Webb at dummy half finds Peacock. And Peacock already attracting 4 people to bring him to ground. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Gets it to Smith, and Smith met by a good tackle from O'Hara. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Goes on his own. Matt Diskin still going eventually. Put to ground by Jordan James just inside the Celtic half. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Chip kick over the top from Sinfield, and that's just about going to find the line, and we'll come back for a scrum. Celtic have been very strong on defence at the start of this second half. I don't know how long we've had, but they've still not yet conceded. And these scrums are being formed even slower now, as the local fans give us a version of Bread of Heaven. As Chan gets it from the scrum. Ooh, thought he was going to offload there, Jason Chan. As the Crusaders bring it away from their own end with Bryant. Budworth at dummy half gets it to Tangata down there. Here is, this guy must be one of the Welsh players in the side. It's Garant Rhys-Davies, must be local. As Smith gets it away to another young Welshman. That's Lewis Mills. Here's Smith, drills it downfield. Straight though, down the throat of Brent Webb. Here is Webb. Taken by Chalk and by Beasley. Sinfield at dummy half finds Lee Smith. Smith bounces away from 1, bounces away from 2, and Lee Smith just couldn't get it away, and that's got to be a penalty. Has to be. Lee Smith tried to play the ball quickly, and Mark Bryant had about 3 stabs at the cherry there to try and prevent him from getting up. And that's a good kick from Kevin Sinfield, and Leeds will start 10 away from the line. Sinfield finds Peacock. Peacock winds it up, he's brought to ground. 4 away from the line. Diskin at dummy half finds Jamie Jones Buchanan. Short pass to Burgess. Burgess told to play it by Thierry Alibert. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow with the dummy, and the step just hung onto by Jordan James. 2 away from the line. Diskin finds Sinfield. Sinfield to Peacock. Peacock's going to power his way, and he's got him for the try. 17 minutes on the clock in the second half. It's the first lead score of the second half, and it's Jamie Peacock who's got it for the Rhinos. It was Diskin to Sinfield. Sinfield to Peacock. Peacock winds it up, uses his power. Lloyd White and Beasley couldn't stop. Here's Sinfield with the conversion attempt, and the flags are up here at Rodney Parade. Engage Super League 14. It's the round 25 stage. Leeds are at the 40-point mark. It's Celtic 0, Leeds Rhinos 40. As Steve Tyra gets us back underway. Shortish kick-off and that's well claimed by Callum Watkins. As Sinfield finds Burgess. The reserves were convincing winners earlier on this afternoon, 40 points to 12 I think the score was, as Diskin finds Peacock, and Peacock get Leeds to halfway. Diskin at dummy half finds Sinfield. Sinfield gets it to Burrow. Burrow for Simon Worrell, and Worrell sticks hold. Burrow goes to dummy half, changes the direction for Jamie Jones Buchanan to Lee Smith. Here's Lee Smith with a bit of space, cuts in field. Where's the support? Here it is. Rob Burrow, 2 in a minute for the Rhinos as the scrum half gets in under the post. Mr. Elibert points to the spot, and that was all too easy. It was Jamie Jones Buchanan who released Lee Smith. Smith cuts back in field, looks for support. Steve Tyrer was pointing Elliot Keir where to go. There's Burrow, and runs in untouched from 20 metres out for the try. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt for the Rhinos on the black dot, and the flags are up here at Rodney Parade. Just coming up to the 3/4 mark of the match. It's Celtic Crusaders 0, Leeds Rhinos 46.
Ladies and gentlemen, is 5,597, 5597 on behalf of all the Crusaders officials and players. Thank you for your continued support.
And they've just given the crowd out here at Rodney Parade 5,597. And I think that's the second highest crowd of the season that the Crusaders have had for a home game, probably only beaten by the visit of St Helens. Here is Bailey, and that game finished scoreless for the Crusaders as well when St Helens were down here at the start of the year. In fact, it was decided by only one try, scored very, very late on as well. As Callum Watkins stays in field, Webb at dummy half finds Senior. Here's Diskin at dummy half, finds Sinfield, pops it up to Burgess, put to ground just short of halfway. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow with one of those trademark non-look passes to find Peacock. Last tackle. Burrow looks up, drops it into the corner, and Keir Fields on the goal line almost loses his footing and runs straight at Jamie Peacock, and he's a braver man than me. As Tyra takes it in for the Crusaders. Budworth at dummy half. Gets it to Bryant. Budworth finds Davis. Davis immediately offloads. Here's Budworth from dummy half going on his own. Here's Smith at dummy half, will kick, and that's come off a Leeds player and back to Matt Smith. That's not been played at, and Thierry Alibert will rule a turnover. Just short of halfway. It's not really what Celtic need. As Diskin finds Bailey. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow to Peacock. Peacock's in the clear. Here comes the cavalry. Here's Brent Webb, and this is going to be a hat-trick for Brent Webb right on the black dot. 64 minutes on the clock, and a hat-trick for Superman. Burrow again with one of those passes where he doesn't look. Peacock streaks through the Celtic defence. Again, he's got options either way. Elliot Keir doesn't know where to look, and he gets it to Webb under the post for his hat-trick. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt. Flags are up here at the Brewery Field. Leeds get over the 50-point mark for the second time in consecutive games. Takes the latest score to Celtic Crusaders 0, Leeds Rhinos 52. as Lloyd White gets us back underway. Another change of kicker as Callum Watkins takes the kick off. Diskin at dummy half, finds Burgess with the step, almost gets clear, but Jordan James there to bring him to ground. Diskin at dummy half, finds Sinfield to Burrow puts a little kick in over the top. Here comes Scott Donald, foot race, Donald for the corner, Elliot Keir, oh what a tackle from the youngster Elliot Keir. Oh, Scott Donald look all ends up a scorer after getting the kick from Rob Burrow. But I take my hat off to the young Crusaders fullback. That's the moment of the game so far, barring Kevin Sinfield's 1000th goal. What an absolutely magnificent tackle from the young man. And Leeds will concede a scrum 10 metres away from the Celtic line. That's something to remember your debut by Elliot Keir. Forget any little knock-ons or anything like that, or any missed tackles. That's just superb. Take my hat off to you, son. And I think Russ does as well, as Jordan James takes it in for the Crusaders. Keith Seniors must be in the second row at the moment. He's lurking round midfield as Budworth at dummy half gets it to Gil Dudson. Dudson pops it up to Lloyd White. Budworth at dummy half finds Bryant plays it to Budworth, and the kick downfield again has gone out on the full. It's not what Celtic need. The conceding field position means the forwards don't have to get downfield though. There is that, and we'll just back a scrum now 10 metres inside the Celtic half. Burrow feeds the scrum. Jamie Jones didn't really have his head in it, neither did Matt Smith, and Thierry Alibert's going to tell everybody to stick the melons in a Bill Harrigan style there. Jamie Jones still wasn't in, and he finds Sinfield from the base, pops it up to Smith looking to get out on the outside of Elliot Keir but can't. Sinfield at dummy half, tries the short side, spins, gets it back to Smith, who's losing his shorts I think there as well. And Lee Smith's come up hobbling a little bit out of that. Here's Burrow, finds Burgess, and Burgess has flat dropped it, and that'll be a knock on and a scrum down in favour of the Crusaders. And we'll pack the scrum down 25 away from the line. Smith feeds. Beasley goes from the base, gets it away to Jordan James. Budworth at dummy half, screaming for a penalty again, the locals. As Lewis Mills goes off, here is Tanga Tatoa. Budworth at dummy half, gets it to White. White spins, almost gets away. Budworth at dummy half, finds Smith to Tanga Tatoa to Jordan James. Here's Elliot Keir, gets it to Jason Chan. Chan looks to get on the outside of Callum Watkins and can't, but Ryan Hall there to help bring him to ground. Here's Smith puts the kick in across field. Tester, it's been missed by everybody, it's been missed by Tyra, and will roll out for a scrum down. There's the hospitality end that I referred to earlier as being a bit like Wakefield. It's got the feel of a traditional rugby league ground. I'll give it that. Of course, the Crusaders have signed a deal to play 10 home games here next season. One rumoured to be in Wrexham, one rumoured to be in Bridgend and the other one I couldn't possibly know, as Leeds come up the short side with Sinfield. Jones Buchanan up the short side. Jamie Jones Buchanan almost gets away. Best play on, he wasn't held. He is though by Budworth on halfway. Sinfield at dummy half finds Ryan Bailey. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow gets it to Webb. Webb to Senior. Some of these Celtic players looking really tired now as Burrow goes from dummy half, but Ali Bear has given a penalty against Matt Smith for a hand on the ball, as if Leeds need any more help. And Rob Burrow's probably going to put this into touch. He is. And Leeds will start 18 away from the Celtic line. Diskin finds Luluai. Sinfield gets it from Diskin back to Burrow. Here's Jamie Jones Buchanan. Jamie Jones Buchanan with a step for the line and eventually gets it down. And Jamie Jones Buchanan crosses for the try for the Rhinos. That's the 11th one this afternoon. Burrow finds the testimonial man, puts the step on, gets Ray Marshall chalk easily. Neil Budworth couldn't do anything about it. And here's Sinfield with the conversion attempt for the Rhinos. Kicks on its way and it's hit the post and bounced away. 8 minutes left here at Rodney Parade. Takes the score to Celtic Crusaders 0, Leeds Rhinos 56. And Celtic in no rush to get things back underway. And they're going for a short kick-off. That's enterprising. And it's not going to go the required 10 metres. And Leeds will get a penalty on halfway. Well, I'm all for trying it, but not at this score, not at 56-0 down. There's no point. You might as well just kick it away and make it harder for Leeds to get back up the other end. Sinfield finds Bailey. Diskin at dummy half. Gets it to Burrow. Burrow with a couple of steps. Tries to get away, Rob Burrow. Here's Jamie Jones Buchanan. Jamie Jones Buchanan gets it to Peacock. Peacock looks to straighten up. Peacock looks to straighten up. And he's going to be put to ground just short of the line. It's on a hat-trick, Jamie Peacock, as Diskin to Sinfield. Here's Luluai. And Luluai's going to be held up just short of the line. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Diskin on his own. Matt Diskin has put it down and he's scored, Matt Diskin, despite the attempts of David Tangatoa. And he's punched a try, Matt Diskin. Just looks one way, looks the other way. Tangatoa's nowhere really. He gets into marker. Diskin looks up, goes on his own and just reaches out, plonks the ball down for the try. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt. And the flags are up here at Rodney Parade. 5 minutes left on the clock. It's the Celtic Crusaders 0, Leeds Rhinos 68. As Steve Tyra gets us back underway. Hopefully we can get home easy tonight. Well, Shabelle be at the concert by the time this game finishes, as Ryan Bailey brings it back. They were in Sheffield on Thursday night as well. They've been all over the place. Wembley, Sheffield, Glasgow, Hampden Park, U2. Not my cup of tea really though, U2. As Diskin finds Sinfield. Sinfield to Luluai. Ooh, that looked high. And it's just going to be a pat on the back between the two players. Kylie Luluai doesn't look too concerned by it. Chris Beasley is the player who's ruled to have gone too high. Here's Sinfield. And Sinfield will get Leeds 30 away from the Celtic line. Here is Sinfield to get us underway. Finds Diskin. Here's Peacock. Can Jamie Peacock get a hat-trick? It would be his first in Leeds colours. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Finds Burrow. Burrow going crossfield. Gets it to Jamie Jones Buchanan. Offload comes in and that's been taken by Anthony Blackwood. And Lawatiti's going to be penalised. Much to the delight of the locals for just laying on Anthony Blackwood a little bit too long, and Celtic get a chance to clear the lines with Matt Smith. Chan gets us back underway. Here's Dudson. Elliot Keir, who's got my nod as the Celtic man of the match, to be fair to him, as the young man. He's had a great debut. As Tanga Tatoa takes it in. Budworth from dummy half goes on his own, gets it back to Tanga Tatoa, flips inside. Here is it Dudson? Can't tell. Here's Smith anyway. Goes high on the last tackle. I'm going to test Donald, and Donald's left it, and that's another kick that's gone out on the full from Matt Smith. I think that's 3 at least. And it will be a play the ball in centre field. Sinfield plays it to Diskin. Here's Lawatiti. So Leeds are definitely big goal top of the Super League tonight as Peacock gets Leeds over the halfway. Back to Diskin. Here's Burrow for Luluai on the charge. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Burrow. Burrow with a couple of steps. Just can't get away. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Sinfield. Sinfield gets it to Webb. Webb over to Watkins. Watkins puts the burners on. Watkins got Webb on the inside. This is going to be 4 for Brent Webb. Right under the post. And Brent Webb always give it to Peacock. And that's going to be Jamie Peacock's first hat-trick in Leeds colours. That's team play for you. Even Thierry Alibert had a laugh at that. Callum Watkins gets on the outside of Jason Chan. Puts the burners on. Has Webb on the inside. Webb goes over the line, could have taken the 4th try of the afternoon for himself, but just waits behind the post. Jamie Peacock takes it off him delightfully and puts it down for his hat-trick. Here's Sinfield, kicks on its way, and the flags are up here at Rodney Parade. We're into the last couple of moments. It's Celtic Crusaders 0, Leeds Rhinos 68, and that's it, full time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final winner has settled. Winning scores at Crusaders 0, Leeds Rhinos 68. Once again, today's attendance 5,597, 5597. On behalf of all the Crusaders players and officials, thank you for your continued support. The next home game is back at the Brewery Field. That's against the Huddersfield Giants on September the 5th. And also as well a couple of Welsh internationals coming up as well. Wales clash with England.